You know, if you walk around the inner city areas here with me, I could point out to you many places where I was arrested during the 1980s in civil disobedience campaigns against the government of the day, which had banned free speech, the Bjelke-Petersen government. And I would put up my milk crate in the mall, and I'd start speaking and get as much done as I could, and gather as many people around me as I could before the police came and hauled me away. And we won that campaign. We got free speech in Queensland. But it never occurred to me that actually decades later we have to fight the same fight all over again. Free speech is under attack again, but it's not from the right. This time it's from the left, that lot over there. And in my party, the Greens, that I helped to found, I got into trouble because I would refuse to delete comments, credible comments, that have been made by gender-critical people, some of whom were professors of philosophy, for heaven's sake. Even so, I let them on. And the Greens said to me, you delete them or you're expelled. Well, when I set up the Greens, free speech was absolutely essential to our politics. So I refused, and I got expelled. Thank you, thank you. I'm pretty proud of that, actually. But you know, the problem isn't really those people over there, they're just stormtroopers. The problem is the ideologues, the ones who are in it for the power. They've got this little theory. I mean, it's contradictory, it's shallow, it's anti-democratic, it's full of magical thinking rather than reason and logic, and it's mostly there so that they can impose that on everybody else. Well, we're not going to cop it. You can't have freedom without boundaries. Those people cannot have unlimited freedom, neither can anybody. We all have to live within boundaries. So you can't have freedom without boundaries, and you can't have democracy without free speech. And these people are trying to destroy both. Now there's two things. I think we're going to win this campaign, and there's two things that are essential for us to do that. That is courage and strategy. Courage and strategy. I've got this saying, I've used it in various campaigns over the years. When our governments fail us, ordinary people have to become heroes. Now our leaders have failed us from all the parties, all the major parties, including the Greens, my old party. They're the worst, actually. And so it's been up to ordinary people to step forward. Now the people that I've got most, that I admire most, are those women mostly who for years fought this struggle on their own. They took a lot of abuse, they took a lot of ostracisation, they took a lot of suffering as a result of it. But then ordinary people began to step forward and become real heroes. And I'm talking about Sal Grover, Gillian Spencer, Kiralee Smith, and that wonderful campaigner I met up with in Melbourne last weekend, Jasmine Sussex, who says a man should not and really cannot breastfeed a baby. How outrageous is that? Now, the other thing we need is strategy. We need to be able to work out how to win this. These people have had a strategy. They've infiltrated every organisation they can. We need a strategy which is going to oppose that and is going to beat them. There are a number of things that we can do here. The first one, join a group. There are women's groups, women's rights groups. We've got IWD Meanjin. We've got a stall down here. We've got Women Up Queensland who have organised this rally. Good on them. I'm a member of that myself, actually. Give myself a clap. Australian Feminists for Women's Rights, national organisations, Binary, Kirali's organisation, Women Speak Tasmania. Hello, we've got somebody there from Women Speak Tasmania. How good is that? So join a group, keep the networks going. We need to keep the information flowing between us, and we need to give each other solidarity. That's really important. It doesn't matter if we disagree about politics or religion or anything else. We've got different policy emphases. What we can all agree upon is that that Sex Discrimination Act has to be fixed. And that troubled children having trouble growing up should not be given puberty blockers, cross-sex hormones and surgery to fix a problem which should be fixed with therapy. Now, I'm hoping, as everybody else is, that Sal can win her case in the High Court. She's just been an absolute revelation to me. I thought I knew what a good campaigner was until I met Sal. I hope she wins that. And that would certainly be a huge victory on our part. Similar to the court case in England, which did establish that a woman is an adult human female. But we need to have more strings to our bow. In 2028, there is a federal election. And we should be putting as much pressure on between now and then to get governments or to get the political parties to change their position on this issue. So we have gatherings like this. We have petitions. We have the groups which are lobbying the politicians. But we also need to think, how can we put the real pressure on these people? Because they seem to be pretty resistant to rational discourse. So let them feel a bit of heat. Let's think about doing things like marginal seats campaigns. Why don't we go into a couple of marginal Labor seats in the different states and say to people, you only need to swing this seat by 2% and it goes against the government of the day. And a new government can come in that is actually going to fix this act. And if Labor isn't going to change their policy, then they're going to be looking at losing a whole lot of marginal seats and losing government. So we put the pressure on them. And we say to every candidate and every party who lines up for that 2028 election and every other state election, by the way, that crops up, if you're not prepared to commit yourselves to fixing the legislation which erases women's rights then we're not going to vote for you. Not only that, but we're going to go out there and we're going to try to persuade as many people as possible not to vote for you. And that means not just in the House of Representatives, the lower house, it also means the Senate, because any new legislation has to pass both the lower house and the upper house. So let's make sure that we've got Senate teams in there that are going to win back control of the upper house from any parties that are going to keep that horrible piece of legislation intact. So we have a plan. These ideologists had a plan too. They were going to infiltrate every organisation they could, take them over and try to force an alien ideology, an ideology which is unacceptable to the vast majority of Australians, to impose that on us. That was their plan, and it's been working so far. But we've got a plan too. We've got a plan. We're going to do what should have been done in 2013. We're going to take this to the people. Thank you.